Hey there, this is Randy Baps from UXStars.com, and since so many folks are virtual these days, I thought it would help to show you around my green screen streaming setup. Things were a bit tricky for me at first, especially since my eyes have some green in them, and I tend to like to wear shirts that have some green in them too. As far as I know, I'm not about to be eaten by a T-Rex any minute. And although I would love to be at my favorite cafe, unfortunately that cannot be right now. In fact, I am sitting in my home office. But let me tell you a little secret. This isn't actually my home office either. Here is my home office, and here are some of the components that help me out. There are many reasons why dual monitors is helpful, right? But when you're streaming, it's especially helpful because on the top monitor, I like to put the presentation. And on the bottom, I like to have the recording software so I can manage that. Now you could also do a side-by-side effect, but in my layout, this works for me. I like to use a blue Yeti so that it's closer and centered on the desk right in front of me as I'm talking. Sometimes I need to use earbuds because on some of these systems out there for virtual conferences, you'll get an echo effect if you're talking with folks. I have an old iPhone that I'm using as a secondary web camera. At the end of this, I'll show you a little bit how that works. And of course here I have the main webcam that I'm looking at right now. And I find that this placement works out pretty well here because you don't want to be looking up too high, too low, too far to the left, and so. And this is a very special lamp here, which has made things a lot easier with getting the green screen effect to work. It lets me change to all sorts of different shades of colors to get things just right. And of course, I need to talk about the actual green screen itself. It is nothing but a muslin green screen. Now, I got a pretty big one at 9 by 15 feet. And I fold that in half usually because there's some light that comes in from the windows behind me, and that helps block some of that out. All right. And I have it hanging from a curtain rod. Now, I know that there's whole stands you can get to stretch it out, and those might have even a better effect. But I just like to push the whole thing aside just like it's a curtain when I'm not using it and get it out of the way. It's been working really well for me. Now, one of my biggest findings in all of this throughout the year has been to know that I need more space between the camera and the actual green screen that's behind me. And the reason for that is you'll get certain shadows right between the light source and the green screen if I'm too close to it. And it just, sometimes you'll get like a sort of a ghost line around you too. But when you have a little bit more distance between the camera and the green screen, it makes a big difference. And if you know this ahead of time, you won't make as many holes in your ceiling as I have. I'll get around to spackling them someday. All right. And you never see her because there's a green screen, but Betsy is always here helping out behind the scenes. Okay. So here is the actual green screen I got. There's all kind of green screens. I did try navy. That wasn't so great because it would cancel out anybody who had brown or black hair, and it would just get rid of all that. I tried black as well, same problems. I ended up back at green, and I finally got things working just right. Now, they do come with all kind of stands. Like I said, I use a curtain rod. The big clips that came with it were very helpful. For the microphone, it happened to be a gaming bundle, which is a nice little bonus. I like that the Blue Yeti microphone has a few different modes. I usually use it in the cardioid mode. All right, so this is the webcam that I'm using. Lots of different webcams out there, but I am very happy with this one. XSplit broadcaster software. That is what enables me to have a bunch of different scenes. So maybe sometimes I'm showing a PowerPoint. Maybe sometimes I'm showing a few different camera angles. I can save each one of those as its own different scene so that if I'm doing that kind of recording, I can load that up and not have to futz around with a lot of settings each time. Reflector 3. Now, sometimes I need to show somebody what is looking on an iPhone, right? I want to show them everything that I'm doing on an iPhone. And what that does is it lets me stream the screen of the iPhone onto this screen. I'll show you a little bit more like that at the end of the presentation. All right, now I was about to buy a second webcam, and then I did a little research, and this is really awesome. It's newest edition. I have an old iPhone, and I just bought, like, I think it was like a $7, $8 app, something like that. Epic Cam, right? And so if I'm going to do some kind of close-up of something that I'm holding, this comes in great. The floor lamp. You know, it has made a big difference because I have 2 windows in this office, and unless I close them all up with blackout curtains, sometimes the lighting's a little different in this room, or maybe I'm wearing a different shirt, and it can be hard to get the green screen to work perfectly. And this has been wonderful. This is just showing you all kind of different color combinations I can use. Sometimes just for fun, and sometimes to get the green screen color just right. All right, now I'm going to switch over to another scene here where I can show you a few things. Alrighty, so I was showing you how I have that other close-up old iPhone, and here it is looking at the new iPhone, right? And so if you're going to show somebody something that you're holding, like, you know, an app or something like that, you could use a camera. And that's okay, but then of course you're moving it around and everything like that, and it might be hard to see. I like to use the reflector app because then it is streaming the screen here, and you can see as I'm controlling it a much easier effect. Now you're probably also noticing this is actually going to control the green screen effect. Like if I change the brightness of this, you can see, oh no, that is not good because it's losing some of the green screen effect. Get the coloring just right. There we go. I was able to fix the hue and get around that. And so on the right here is the reflector 3 effect, right? Now I would typically use the close-up camera more for something like, you know, if I had to show a piece of hardware, like if I was comparing a game controller or something along those lines. Anyway, I hope that this has helped you with potentially your setup that you can use to make yourself look professional when you're going through your different meetings and presentations. And I'll see you around. Bye-bye.